All right, here we go. So, everybody, this is Thoroughbred Underdog here, and this is the very first episode of Season 2 of In Wrestling Life. And the first episode is called A Clean Win. Now, I mentioned in some of my earlier Dog's Day videos that I was going to do this, with it being Men's Mental Health Month, and I am now going to deliver on that because today's as good as any. It's the last day of June, and I was saving the very best for last because men's mental health, human mental health, both men and women, but this month, men's mental health. It's a very, very important thing. Of all the things that we celebrate in June, those of us who are members of the LGBTQ community, those of us who are African American, Black, what have you, celebrating Juneteenth. I'm Black. I'm not a member of the LGBTQ community. I don't have anything against anybody who is. But I am someone who has had mental health issues and dilemmas, depression, stress, previous thoughts that rhyme with who am I, and it's very important to me. It's one of the most important social causes out there for me. And it's something that a lot of people overlook, and it doesn't get a lot of attention. So I do appreciate June being a month that we commemorate and acknowledge and give attention to that. Men's mental health is a very important thing to me. And what I want to do, as you all can see, I don't get a lot of views on my videos. I'm a regular dude who works at Walmart and McDonald's. And I'm a regular guy who comes home at the end of the day, like you guys, after a hard day's work, just trying to maintain and survive in this world. You know what I mean? So I don't do this for a lot of views. I do this because I love wrestling. And I love connecting with people from wrestling and through wrestling and sharing my thoughts on wrestling with you guys, So it's a labor of love. It's not something I get paid for or anything like that. I think the colorful language I use on these videos and just me speaking my mind should let you know that I don't really care much about doing this for money. I do this, I want to be heard. I want views. I want people to hear me. I want subscribers, but this is anything that you do has to be out of love first. Because if you do it out of love and you don't gain anything from it financially, you could say, well, I did it out of love first anyway. I didn't do it for money. Money was secondary to me. And a lot of us in this life don't really get to do what we love and make money from it. That's why it's such a beautiful thing when people do, you know what I mean? And I think it was Little Brother said in a song, I think it's called Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And they got Lil Wayne on and whatnot. And they said a man's love is life, or a woman's life is love, a man's love is life. And I agree with that. And in that life, the three most important women in a man's life is his mom, his daughter, and the woman he makes his daughter with, right? So it's kind of like a beginning, middle, end situation, like a sandwich. Top piece of bread is mom. That's the first lady in your life. And then you meet the woman that one day becomes your wife, and then you have a child by that woman. Boy, but, if you have a daughter, that's the third most important woman in your life, chronologically. So, we love life, and we have to spread love and and we want to be loved, and we want to do what we love. And not a lot of people wake up every day and do what they love. A lot of us have jobs that we do, and they're very thankless. And we do them to the point of exhaustion. It takes so much out of us. And we start our day off with an A, and that A is before we get to work. And hopefully we end that same night with an A, because a lot of us, that A being determined on whether we end the night with it or not is what happens in that middle of the day while we're at work. So a lot of us tend to go home and not bring work home. And then when we go to work, we try not to bring home work. You know what I'm saying? Or the other way around. We try not to bring home to work and bring work to home. A lot of us, when we get off, we delete our browsing history of work. So, you know, doing what you love is very important, and doing what you do out of love first is very important. And you want to definitely love life and live how you want to be remembered, right? And these are things that we as men don't share enough about. Mental health and wrestling is a real thing. I feel like, so my opinion with the Chris Benoit thing was similar to Kanye West. And some people may say, like, what does Chris Benoit have to do with Kanye West? Well, in my mind, I feel like Chris Benoit really died when Eddie did. Like, the Chris Benoit that we and everybody in wrestling knew and loved died when Eddie Guerrero died. I feel the same way with Kanye West. When people ask me, like, what's your views on Kanye? Well, for one, I like every album from College Dropout till about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that, I fell out of love with Kanye's music, right? But I feel like the real Kanye West, before he was Ye and he's saying he loves Hitler and all this crazy stuff, the real Kanye West passed away when Donda West did. And like I was just mentioning, the three most important women in a man's life is his mom, the woman he has his children with, and then his daughter. You know what I mean? Losing any of those women, I call it the feminine trinity, can fuck a man's mind up, can fuck with a man's mental health. And the thing is about us being men in this world is the expectations of us as men, the things that we wrestle with on a daily basis. And we're just expected to, hold it in, put on a gimmick, a mask, like Rey Mysterio, and just hide our faces. Because if they see our face, they're going to take pictures. They're going to expose us, right? We feel exposed. But really, yeah, it's okay to vent. It's okay to feel. It's okay to lose and take a loss. But one of those things about life is how you respond to it. And you can't stay down for long. You can't wallow for too long. You could wallow, but not for very long. And that's what this video, A Clean Win, is all about. Now, before, that was the preamble, and it was very unexpected for that to be my preamble because, as you all know, when I do these videos, you just never know what you're going to get. I go in Monday Night Raw in these videos and lay the smack down with how I feel. I write some notes, but it's a ramble. We never know. I can never go into these knowing how long it's going to go. I don't anticipate. I don't plan. I do it on the flaw. Just like, just like in a wrestling match. That's why we call it in wrestling life. I don't too much do the Macho Man thing and know my match all the way through from first move to the very finish. I call it in the ring, so to speak. But I have an idea of what the finish of the match is going to be, and the big spots and stuff that I want to go over. So this preamble, or shall I say preramble, is before I tell you what a clean win in wrestling is. Now, I don't know if any of you all who are subscribed to me went back to watch any previous episodes when I was on camera doing these. I feel a little bit more confident in the way I speak when I'm not on camera because my eyes wander off. I got the Shawn Michaels eye thing. And I feel like I ramble way more when I'm on camera. I'm just not camera comfortable yet. You know what I mean? Maybe when I'll start doing like promo school, whatever like that, I'll feel that again. But right now, I feel like I do a lot better with just voice memos and being able, I could, look at my notes and things like that and not have to feel like I'm looking at a teleprompter and whatnot. Because my memory sucks. Like I say it every dog's day. My memory is not very good, And for somebody that's an aspiring wrestler who has memory like I've been hit with chairs already, that's very cumbersome. It's a very cumbersome thing to deal with daily. But back to it. So a clean win in wrestling is basically when you win without, let me see. So a clean win in wrestling is when you win a match decisively, ostensibly where everyone can see it. No chicanery, no low blows, no cheap shots, no interference, no putting your feet on the ropes, no using heel tactics or dirty moves, no mist, no, powder in the eyes, no distractions. I think I said that already. Referee bumps. You straight up just win the match cleanly, right? And in life, that's what we all would like, right? As fans, we would like to see that in more matches, right? AEW, I would like to say, has done a really good job of a lot of their matches ending with clean victories. Now, some people may feel the way they feel about matches where the person wins cleanly and then that's the end of the feud. Like, it doesn't continue for a lot of these matches. Somebody would face one opponent and then move on. And then you won't see the other wrestler for a while. And then they go a feud with another person. Very seldom do you see somebody continue a feud with somebody after they've beat them cleanly in one of their matches. If you notice, there's not a lot of interference in their matches, right? But that's what a clean win is. And for a heel in wrestling, that's a badge of honor. That's a flex. You're a heel. You want to win. You're supposed to win using those dirty tactics. Low blows, eye rakes, rolling up the tights, things like that. But in wrestling, there's a thing about egos. And we've seen it with a lot of wrestlers. Now, behind the scenes, that's why I don't like using the term worker, because I'm not a person in wrestling yet. As Chris Bay would say, always add yet to the end of it, right? That was a very inspiring interview with him and Chris Van Vliet, and I try to use yet after everything that I haven't attained or acquired or accomplished. I always say yet at the end of it. So, the thing is when you're in wrestling, the people inside can say if somebody's a good worker or not, because they know how well the person is at constructing matches and knowing when to look at the hard camera and the internal workings of the business. We as fans can only say what we see. Oh, that move looked cool. Oh, he messed up that move. Oh, that he landed wrong on that. He wasn't supposed to land that hard, or that looked like a legitimate hit right there. But I don't think we're at liberty or the ones who could really say if someone's a good worker or not, right? But when things start to bleed into the eyes of the fans, and we start hearing things about guys like Hulk Hogan and John Cena, and the thing about Hulk Hogan not wanting to give somebody a clean victory over him. And then with John Cena and Triple H, the guys that they didn't want to win over them cleanly. Well, it kind of gives us a little bit of contrast and comparison, right? Where we could say, okay, these are things that are coming from the back to the front now, where fans know these things. And it gives the wrestlers bad looks, and then to the point that when we see them actually lose cleanly to somebody, we are able to immediately recognize it. Like, wow, Triple H put over Shelton Benjamin. Or wow, John Cena lost cleanly to Kevin Owens. Or wow, before we knew about Goldberg, he lost cleanly to Chad Fortune. You know what I mean? It says a lot about the wrestlers for who they put over cleanly and who they don't, and who they're willing to, right? So the thing is about wrestling and clean wins is, like I said, if you're a heel, it's a flex that you didn't win cleanly. Just like in real life, right? We have the hallmarks of humanity, which is good and evil, right? We have people who just don't give a fuck. They're heels in real life, and we have baby faces in real life. The heels in real life, and maybe you have like some people that are tweeners. I like to think that we're all kind of tweeners, but you know, everybody's not black and white like in wrestling. It's not just clear-cut faces or heels, but everybody's like, a tweener would be Stone Cold, right? Stone Cold will come out and be up a heel and a face, all right, and fight or heel or face if it means him getting his championship shot, right? But then you got wrestlers like Bret Hart, who's not going to use a weapon to get that victory, who will shake your hand in the beginning and the end of the match. And that's what the cool dynamic was between Bret Hart and Stone Cold, where you had somebody that just, it didn't matter what he had to do to win. He was going to win. If he had to hit you with a chair, give you a low blow, stump you in your groin, your nether regions, what have you, if he had to break the rules, he was going to get that win. The ends justified the means to him, right? So Machiavellian tactics, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it was more so about the response of the fans, him doing these things, that determined him being cheered for it, even though the things he's doing are inherently wrong things. The things he's doing in of itself are not cool things to do. Whereas Bret Hart was straight up, I'm not winning that way. I'm not using weapons to win this match. I'm going to be pure. I'm going to beat you because I am skilled enough to beat you and make you submit and use my ability and cunning to defeat you, right? So for a guy like Bret Hart, it's not an honorable thing to win by using a weapon, by using interference, by distractions, by roll-ups, by, referee bumps, things like that. This is how life is in real life. You know what I'm saying? We have people that will step on whoever they have to get over, to win, to get what they want. Will betray anybody. Will turn on anybody. Will use whatever schemes or scams they can if it means to get what they need to eat, have a roof over their head, pay off a debt, have a house. They'll lie. They'll lie, cheat, and steal like Eddie Guerrero. But then you have people who are baby faces, right? And, the thing is about those heels is you are what you repeatedly do, right? Now, you might have a baby face who's just like, no, I'm not doing this. You ever see a wrestling match with somebody, like a manager or somebody? I've seen matches with Moose. I've seen AJ Styles have a match. Actually, the match he had with Logan Paul, where Karrion Kross is trying to give him the brass knuckles that Logan Paul dropped so he could win the match. AJ's like, no, I'm not winning that way. Against Logan Paul? No. He ended up losing the match, right? And it made Karrion Kross upset because that's Karrion Kross's gimmick. He's the devil on the shoulder, right? That's how life is. Sometimes you have people that just want to do it the correct way. And in life, you got the people that don't give a fuck about doing it the right way. So it's like, this is what it's all about. It's about the people that, it's like, it sucks for them that they can't get a clean win. That life, the opponent that we all face, it won't let us get a clean win no matter how good we are. We have to, we want to be baby faces. You are what you repeatedly do. Now, the heel who constantly cheats and stuff like that, that's what makes them a heel. They always do dirty shit. They always cheat. They always interfere. The baby face who retaliates to the heel who's done them dirty by using their tactics against them once, that doesn't make them a heel. They were just defending themselves, unfortunately, by using the tactics that the heel does against them, giving them a taste of their own medicine. But if that baby face continues to do this, now they're going to negative integers and they're becoming a heel, right? And they're becoming what they hate. And the thing in life is that we do not want to become what we hate. We have to be the change you want to see in this world. And we don't want to become what we hate. We don't want to say, well, we can't beat them, join them. If we can't join them, become them. And that, for the people who are baby faces in lives, who want to do the right things and be law-abiding and approach people with respect and have the right attitude and, act right and behave right and have the right motivations, the right intentions, and respond to things the correct way. This is our dilemma. We don't want to have to do what the heel does or use heelish tactics to win. And we don't want life to say, oh, I'll give you a win, but only if you put me through a table. Or only if I still look strong afterwards. Or you'll win, but only via, like I can't tap out to your finish. I got to pass out. You got to roll me up. You got to cheat. You got to have somebody interfere. You got to have somebody come and hit me with their finisher. You got to have, the referee get bumped. You got to, for us who want to do things the right way, we don't want to win that way. We hate that we can't get a clean win. And that's what it's all about. So it's like, in life, it's like a win, a clean win. Now, this is where my notes come in. So, being honest with you, breaking the fourth wall. It's like you do everything the right way, right? You want to play it's wrestling, so you want to play fair. You want to keep your word. You want to show up on time. You want to work hard. You want to help others. You want to say what you mean. Keep your word with people. Just be overall a decent human being, right? But that's where life is like wrestling. It's like it's always something, right? Life can't just put you over. It's got to be interference. It's got to be something going wrong. And you get overlooked. You get worn down. You know what I'm saying? You do things the right way, and you just don't feel like you could get a clean win. Like me in my own life was what the catalyst for this video was. It's like everything good I had that I felt I earned, it didn't come easily. And they say nothing worth having does, right? And I see a lot of parallels in life with wrestling. So it's like, okay, I was in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago. And it wasn't until I moved out here to Indiana to stay with my then girlfriend, who became my ex-wife, that I got a job out here. After 8 years looking for her in Chicago. Didn't get it. In wrestling terms, that'd be like going 8 years in a federation, don't get a push, don't get a championship, and then you move to another federation that you probably didn't even want to go to. You got there because of your relationship with one of the divas who you end up marrying, and it just was a sunny situation, like extremely toxic, right? But that's how you got the gig and the push at the company you're in. Why did you have to go through that to get to that point? Me, I went 25 years, you know what I'm saying? I knew when I was 9 I wanted love. I wanted a good woman. I wanted to have kids. And it's like, wow. All the humiliation, rejection, ghosting, abandonment, lack of communication, horrible relationships, marriage that was not what it should have been. I went through all that to get to the woman I'm with now. Even our situation is very intricate and difficult, and it just, you feel like you're doing the right things and just feel like you can't get a clean win. It's like everything good has to, come with an asterisk. It's like it's some type of catch, some stipulation. And it's like life doesn't want to just put you over. You feel like you've earned it all, right? And it's just like in wrestling, you know what I'm saying? The good guy doesn't always just get the clean win. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go through, you win the Royal Rumble, but it's still shit. Like, sometimes in life we get based on who we are already, we get a certain push. Now, I don't want to say Triple H. I do want to say Triple H, but okay, Triple H had the curtain call incident before he got pushed. Was getting buried, losing hog pen matches, got his King of the Win, got snubbed for his King of the Ring victory in 1996, but he got it back in 97, right? And then he started to go towards the upper trajectory, DX with Shawn Michaels, was the leader of DX in 1998. 1999 comes around, becomes the game, wins his first championship. 3 years later, he's just given the World Heavyweight title. Didn't fight for it. But he had fights before that. Okay. Sometimes you get the Triple H push. You might have to eat some shit for a little bit, but then you're just given a title. A lot of us in life, and don't take this the wrong way, but you kind of can't, because I'll mention another wrestler too. The first two is going to make you think I'm saying it for this reason. You get the Kofi Kingston, the Mark Henry push. Mark Henry literally ate a shit sandwich. Was given humiliating gimmicks. All right. Had Sonny the Transvestite. Had a crush on China before she got, the facial surgeries and stuff like that. Fucking had sex with Mae Young and gave birth to a hand. All types of stupid shit. Came back in 2002. From 2004 to like 06, 07. People looked at him like he was just green as goose shit. Couldn't wrestle. Hated him having matches with Undertaker at WrestleMania 22. But then he came across the Hall of Pain gimmick. Right? 2011. Feuds with Kane. Big Show. Puts other people on the shelf. Randy Orton puts him over. Clean. Shows us that Randy Orton respects him. It took Mark Henry 15 years to get that fucking title. 15 years to get a clean championship victory. A real championship. I don't count ECW. I really don't. Sometimes we get the Mark Henry and Kofi Kingston push. Kofi Kingston debuted in WWE 2008, 2009. He didn't win the championship until 2019. It took him almost 11 years to win that title. Look at the shit he dealt with Randy Orton. Having to fake a Jamaican accent. Losing multiple matches. Decorated IC champion. Life throws you victories here and there. It was a babyface for the longest. The New Day wasn't over at first, like they were later. They had the ecclesiastical church congregation gimmick at first. And he had to do a couple of heel turns before that. In life, we have to do that sometimes. We don't get a clean victory. We have to turn heel for a little bit and do some things we may not be proud of. And we have to do them at a point where it's not something we can't come back from. Just like a wrestler who is a heel, they never turn so much into a heel that they can't become a babyface again. You know what I mean? So, the good guys don't always win. In wrestling, they don't always win in real life. And we go through some shit. We go through Hell in a Cell, Battle Royals, Elimination Chamber, and we feel like we trapped. It's like, fuck, I gotta go through this. I gotta go through Hell in a Cell matches, Elimination Chambers, Royal Rumbles, Gauntlet matches, hardcore matches where I'm getting slammed on thumbtacks. And it's just like, man, haven't I been good enough to get a clean victory where I don't have to go through all these fucked up matches to get it? It's like you throwing in all these stipulations and it's just like Cena or Hogan. Or you refuse, or you just don't want to give me that clean victory. I can't just win because of who I am and the wages I've paid with my body that I feel like I've earned to get this clean victory. You don't want to put me over. And that's life. You gotta be patient. And I always like to say that patience is the hardest thing in this world to have, but the most rewarding. Right now, I'm in a very, very difficult situation. You know what I'm saying? With my relationship, with a person I love dearly. The second most important woman in my life, because my mom is first. And I don't think she would have a problem with my mama being first because I love my mama. I have a good relationship with my mama. But the second most important person in a man's life is the woman that he's going to have kids with and he loves. His future wife, his significant other, right? And our situation is what it is, but, it requires a great deal of patience. And Vince McMahon, and you might say, what's Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon once always used to say, you got to learn how to eat shit and like the taste of it. And Mark Henry literally ate a shit sandwich and had to like the taste of it. But at the end of the day, Mark Henry became a world champion, had one of the greatest feigned retirement angles in wrestling history, and became a respected Hall of Famer. And, has opened a lot of doors for people like Jade Cargill, who some may say, I wish she didn't open that door because she still doesn't know how to wrestle, right? But he gave us Bianca Belair. If it wasn't for Mark Henry, we wouldn't have Bianca Belair, who is, in my opinion, the best African-American women's wrestler of all time. And definitely in the top 5 is one of the best ever. She's my all-time favorite. Her and Asuka and Trish and Io and Sable. You're like, damn, one of these are not like the other. Sable was the first women's wrestler I had a crush on back in the day. And then Trish. And then Trish became a very good, competent women's wrestler. And opened doors for a lot of women. It's like, hey, you could be hot, but you could actually be a really good wrestler too. Like Trish did. Trish and Lita. And then you got Bianca, who's just a physical specimen. Mark Henry opened the door for her. You know what I mean? So, we sometimes get the Triple H push. And sometimes we get pushed as like a wrestler based on our look. And we can't do it. Brackus comes to mind. You know what I mean? Nathan Jones comes to mind. These are guys who, in life, just like in real life, they may get over because people find them appealing. And then they can't do the job as well as somebody that doesn't have that look. Now, we talk about Daniel Bryan. Some of us are underdogs in life. That's the reason why my name is Thoroughbred Underdog. A thoroughbred is mostly used for horses, but a dog could be a thoroughbred too because you come from the best bloodline of a long lineage. You're very well trained. You're very well taught. Now, underdog is not a true dog breed, but we know what underdog is. If I was a dog, I wouldn't be a pit bull. I wouldn't be a poodle, but I'm an underdog. I'm somebody that a lot of people, I'm a dark horse. So maybe thoroughbred dark horse would have been better. I don't know. But I'm somebody that, I'm a sleeper. A lot of people didn't expect much of me because of my height, the way I looked, my behavior, the way that I talk. Not a lot's expected of me. I was overlooked a lot, but when the attention was put on me, I shined. I shined brilliantly. And it's like, wow, we didn't know he had that in him. Yeah, because you never saw anything in me. So a guy like a Daniel Bryan, somebody I can relate to, even like a Miz, people that people think are goofballs or too small or doesn't have the actual look of a wrestler, compared to like a Nathan Jones or a Brackus or even a Batista. You know what I mean? But then they go and they fight and they prove themselves and they become future legends. They've been fighting on the low from underneath for a while when you didn't see it, which is what Daniel Bryan was doing in the Indies in Ring of Honor. And then he made himself to WWE and he got fired before he came back and was given a second chance and made the most of it. And he got over because of the consensus, the widely agreed upon opinion from the people who supported him. His support system helped him get to where he should have been off of his work ethic and ability alone. And sometimes in life we have to be patient, and we have to have ability. We can't just rely on luck. We have to stay doing the good things that we've done to get us to where we are, that we feel like maybe aren't getting us where we feel we should be and deserve to be. You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, life won't give me a clean win. Like when I win, it's like this. It's like, I have to win this way. I could have this, but it's going to be a catch, or I'm going to have to pay this back. And it sucks. I just want you all to know that it's okay as a man, not just a man, but as a human being, to vent, to write. Let's go back to the 4 learning styles. It's okay to vent. It's okay to write to somebody how you feel. It's okay to speak how you feel. But with the speaking and the kinesthetic, what you say and what you do, you have to be very careful where you do it at, who you do it to, who you do it around. Because saying something and doing something are 2 different things. And it gets frustrating that it just feels like we have to go through these things to get what other people have been given, seemingly, ostensibly. And everybody, the consensus is that person's not a very good human being. They are heel. They do dirty shit to get what they've gotten. And it's like, I'm the baby face. And I can't even get a title shot. You can win in life without having to do those things. You could be a winner in life without having to turn heel and use cheating, dirty tactics. And you could get a clean win. And you will find somebody that's willing to put you over. It's okay to vent. It's okay to feel bitter and tired at life. Just like these wrestlers had lows in their career where they feel like, wow, I'm not being used. Why am I not being used? I'm over with the fans. Everybody knows, just like in life, everybody knows you're good. You're a good human being. You treat people right. You do the right things. You earned everything you got. You're a hard worker. You're smart. You've told the company line. You could have left and you stayed. Just like a wrestler who's over with the fans. It's like, hey, this is what matters the most. People are coming to see me. I'm drawing money. I'm over. You know what I mean? People come to see my matches. Nobody's getting up doing my matches and leaving. You know what I mean? And yet, nobody wants to put me over. I can't win without it being shenanigans or anything like that. But here's the thing. Life will do that to you. It will put you in a submission hold. And we cannot give up. We can't. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn from Kevin Owens and John Cena. Kevin Owens has had more heel turns and face turns at this point, almost up there with Big Show, right? He hasn't really, but he's had a lot since he's been in WWE. But every time he wore his shirt, he's had just keep fighting on it. Same thing with Cena. Cena is there, and he's had like 50 million shirts since this heel tour, world tour, retirement tour thing, right? But yet he still has never give up on his shirt. And you can't see me, right? Or after this is the last time you see me. That's what we got to do in life. You know, I'm going to tell you what the meaning of life is to me. The meaning of life to me, okay, is basically all these battles we've had, these wins we get, these losses we take, whether clean, decisively, or we might have to do some things we may not want to do to get them. Or somebody in life or life itself may not want to put us over. We get to the point where we could say, all that shit I went through, those Hell in a Cell matches, those seasons, those hardcore matches, when life got really hardcore and we bled, we sweated, we cried. Life beat the fuck out of us. We felt like submitting to life. For where we are now, it was worth it. That's what the meaning of life is to me. That's the Hall of Fame induction in life for me. And I like to think we all get there. Every dog has its day. That's why I do Dog's Day every Saturday, Sunday, what have you. Every dog will have their day. You know what I mean? All the unfair losses, the beat downs, shit we said wrong in a promo. You might have said the wrong thing in an interview. You might have said the wrong thing to the wrong person. You might say a lot of right things to the wrong people. You know, we are all at some point the baby faces. Well, as I was saying before my alarm interrupted me, I forgot I set one at 12 a.m. I was saying that, it's where for those of us who choose to have a babyface alignment in life, we have all had somebody that we feel that we maybe were the right person or doing a lot of the right things for the wrong person. And maybe for those of us who were heels and elected to be long-term heels, not like a short-term heel like Shawn Michaels in his program with Hulk Hogan, we have been the wrong person to a lot of the right people. And we live and learn to regret that. But we got to live with it, right? Like I always say at the end of the Dog's Day videos, you may hate it, you may dislike it, but at the end of the day, you got to learn to live with it. So you got to learn to live with the losses we take, the wins we have, be it we win them cleanly or that means that, hey, we may not like the way that this came, but we got it. You know, I do not really like the way that I found love, but I did. You know what I mean? I wish it was just a straight up clean victory, but it wasn't. It hasn't been. But I'm very happy that I have it. I don't like that my victory of getting the jobs that I've had, the job that I have had with taxable income that's kept a roof over my head, food in my refrigerator, debt lowering, me in good health for doctor's appointments. I wish it would came a lot more cleaner in life. Like, why couldn't I just get the job in Chicago? But I'm grateful for it. And this is what life is all about. We may not like the way we obtain these things. You know what I mean? It's very difficult for us as baby faces in life to say, wow, man, like, fuck. I won this title, but look at all the shit I had to go through to get it. And look at the way I won it. I didn't win this in the best way. I didn't win this in a way that was honorable. I wish I could have got this in a way that was more facial. But I didn't. It took me a while to get it. And I just have to be very grateful. You know, I mean, that I got it at all. Because it's better to have lived. And it's best that we not be, you know, sad it's over, be glad that it once was. So, we might not get that clean win all the time. And we got to just be like Kevin Owens. Just keep fighting. And, we all repeatedly do. We can't continue to cheat to win because that'll make us a heel. We hope we got to stay fighting and stay good, stay babyface. And I say all this to say that if you feel like you fight an uphill battle and life has booked you in every impossible match, know that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? It may be the end of Men's Mental Health Month, but the message continues. And we have to keep conveying it and keep the same energy and spreading the message of men's mental health and the importance of it, and that you ain't gonna always get the clean win, unfortunately. We would love it if a lot of us who want to be baby faces and do the right things at all times, we would love it if we could always get the victory with somebody willing to put us over cleanly. We don't have to go through this or get this with that just to get the clean win. We can still leave the ring with our head held high. And, at the end, maybe that's the real victory. You know what I'm saying? Not how we got it. So, we just got to keep stepping in the ring, man. And just be patient. And sometimes, like I said, we may not get the victory the way as cleanly as we want it to. But we got to still maintain our babyface tactics and alignment and stature. And not let it become such a practice of heel tactics and things to get that victory. Or, not be swayed by the fact that, damn, fuck, I wanted this way, but it came to me this way. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a title reign to know that we champion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times. And some of the best of all time didn't get that title. But we're still winners. You know what I'm saying? We're still Hall of Famers. And, just got to keep fighting our matches, you know what I mean? So, I thank you for listening to this episode, even though it's bifurcated because of a stupid-ass alarm going off. But don't let the fact that, life not giving you things as cleanly as you wanted them to, because sometimes roses grow from concrete. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes really bad things happen, or we obtain things that we've always wanted in ways that we wish we would have got them in a better way, in a cleaner, more moralistic, honorable way. And sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. It beats us up like, man, why do I have to do this or go through this or wait for this? Or why did it have to be this catch? Or why did it have to be this baggage just for me to get what I've always wanted? Just, you got to keep fighting, man, and never give up, and try not to wallow and dwell on that, and just be grateful for the title shots we do get. And just when we feel like giving up, remember what we're fighting in this match for. Remember the grand championship that we are ultimately fighting for is, and when we're in wrestling and in real life, in wrestling life, because that's what we all do, we wrestle life. The championship of finding a meaning, and that meaning is for all the losses we've taken, wins we've had, be it unfortunately, sometimes not cleanly in ways, honorable ways that we wanted to win the matches, we're able to say we're at a point now where it was all worth it. And that's the meaning of the life we wrestle with. Thanks for listening, guys.